So I want to talk to you guys about something, and this is not a discussion. This is kind of just like a review in a sense. I had this DJI Neo like 4 or 5 months now. I created an unboxing video on my Instagram channel if you want to go and check it out. I think it was really good editing. I actually liked how it came out. But this thing is good, but it needs some work. Let's go ahead and get straight into this video. The DJI Neo is a compact and lightweight drone for both the beginners and enthusiasts, but I think it's more so for the beginners. And the reason why I say that, so with my personal experience with the DJI Neo, I realized that you can do both. You can fly it manually as somebody who is just a good flyer. If you are more so a person who's used it for vlogs or want to just do it for short form content, you can do that as well. I just think that the DJI Neo needs some little bit more tweaks, but I love the drone. This is my very first drone that I have ever got, right? I think this thing is perfect for the person that has never drove a drone before. What I do with this drone, I use my phone to kind of drive this drone. And this is coming from somebody who is not a drone enthusiast. So if you guys looking for a drone enthusiast background in this is the wrong video. But I want this video to be more so for the content creators, the people who are just getting into content creating or whatever the case may be, and just wants a drone that does drone things without you having to do the utmost with the drone. So first, let's go ahead and get into the camera. So I think the camera itself is pretty good. I would say that I wouldn't solely depend on the camera for content creating. Like if you're like, for example, you're just looking for a device that kind of just hovers and just shows your face, I wouldn't depend on it. I mean, this thing does what it's supposed to do, and it's supposed to give you good angles that you're looking for. If you're trying to depend on this solely on the camera, I don't get it. Just go ahead and just get you a real camera. This thing is a 12 megapixel camera. The Neo can capture 4K at 30 frames per second. It features a single axis mechanical gimbal for stabilization and ensures smooth footage. This thing, it's just like the Osmos. The smoothness and the tracking of it, I think it does really good with that. I think whatever you do, you can be running, you could be, walking, or you could just be standing there, or whatever the case may be, or you wanted to sit it all the way in there and track you as you're walking. I really think it's good just for those angles you're looking for, and that's what this DJI Neo is for. Let's talk about flight performance. So the drone offers a maximum flight time of approximately 18 minutes and can resist wind speeds up to 8 milliseconds. It's a compact size and enclosed propeller guards make it suitable for both indoor and outdoor flights. So I have used this DJI Neo in the indoors of my house, my parents' house. So let me give you a landscape. My parents' house is a pretty big house for what it is, and I live in an apartment. So I drove this thing in my apartment before. It does really well if you're trying to use it for manual control. For the people who are not good at flying the drones, I would start outside first. I definitely tried to do it inside first. It was kind of hectic, but it was good. It was a good experience. But driving inside my parents' house, which is a really big house with a very big backyard, this thing works beautiful. It does what it's supposed to do. It's very smooth. And I mean, I think it definitely has its issues whenever it comes to dark lighting, though. When it comes to dark lighting, it would give up on you. It would say, oh, too dark. I don't know where I'm at. I'm just going ahead and land this thing. Literally, it would do that. It would just say, oh, can't see. I'm landing. It definitely has protective measures for the people who do not fly drones, which is pretty cool. But it does have its limitations, which I don't like, but I do understand it, and it makes sense though. So I did fly this thing also outside in the rain, where it was drizzling with a light wind. This thing works like a charm. It's very durable. I think it's really good for what it is. The price tag was $299. This thing is actually like $250, I believe. I think it's perfect. The control options. So you can use many different things, right? The user can operate the Neo via a smartphone app, voice control or optional accessories like the DJI goggles for a first-person view experience. So I'm gonna talk about it in the smartphone capacity and voice control capacity. I'm not gonna talk about it within DJI goggles. So when using the Smart app, I think it was pretty cool. I mean, of course you have like your options of going up and down, then you can rotate left and right. I think the UI is very straightforward, which makes it really beginner friendly. But I will say the only issue I have with that is whenever flying, it's definitely like, it feels like more so of a tap thing. Unless you're outside, by the way. If you're inside, it's very, very, very sensitive. If you press up, it would literally just go up slowly, which is cool. But if you make it go forward, it would fly. Like literally, this thing would just fly. So it's made for the outside for sure, but the inside you have to be very, very, very careful with it because this thing would just fly. Like I think on the inside, I was just tapping it, just tap, 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 tap. I would just keep on tapping it. I wouldn't just hold the button because at the same time, the delay is definitely there. So I think if you had a smart, I mean, if you have like more so like the DJI goggles with the actual controller, it would run smoothly. But on the phone itself, oh my goodness, this thing would just fly, bro. Like I couldn't control it. The smartphone app is very finicky, but it works. Let's just say that. But you have to get used to it, just like anything else. You would have to get used to it. I don't think the smartphone app is beginner friendly if you're inside, but if you're outside, it's very, very beginner friendly. Like it's really hard to crash if you're actually outside. Now, if you use voice control, I've tried the voice control. I wasn't too much of a fan of it. There's not much I can really say about it. It's like controlling it as if you had Siri. I wouldn't use voice control. Let's just say that. I feel like you don't have the most control over it, but you could tell it feels like it's in its beginning stage, but I could be wrong about that. So now let's talk about the pros and the cons. Pros. It's very small, right? Very small and lightweight design, right? This thing is about the size of my hand. I could literally grasp this thing with my hands. This is how small the DJI Neo is. I could literally grasp this thing with my hand. That makes it really good because it makes it easy to carry. I can just put it in my book bag and just go. You can use smaller bags for this thing. Like it's very small. That's what I like. I like my electronics to be small, where I could just go and put it in and just go. The ease of use of it. It is beginner friendly. I mean, this is way more than beginner friendly. I feel like this is just amazing for the beginners because you can use it to do whatever you want it to do. If you wanted to fly around, it would do that yourself. All you gotta do is press a button, or if you wanted to push it out, it will push out and give you that cinematic view, right? Or if you wanted to do a rocket, it's called a rocket. It would just send you so straight up in the air and look over you. Or if you wanted to do a follow, it would just follow you everywhere. And they have this thing, I can't really remember. I believe it's like direction track, right? But what it does is it kind of, so if you're running and you're going left and right, and it will go up and down, will swing around. It does really good. It's actually pretty crazy. It's actually pretty new too. I've used it and I thought it was really cool. The cons of the DJI Neo. This makes me tell people to not get this, because there are better options, right? Just due to the fact of flight time. I will always say go DJI Mini. Even though the DJI Mini is not completely beginner friendly, the battery life for this thing is 18 minutes. As I was at my parents' house, right, I had this thing fully charged up for what I needed to do, and then it died on me. Yeah. And then I was not done yet. So had to charge it, and I believe the charge time, put my finger in it felt like an hour though, for a complete charge. Then I use again for 18 minutes, and that's it. But this is come from somebody who's a beginner with drones. Take it with a grain of salt. Some people say that 18 minutes might be just fine for what they're using it for. Some people might say, I need more. And I think the last thing is obstacle detection sensors. For example, if you're running between trees, right? It won't do a really good job at actually getting around those trees. But knowing me, that I was never going to use it for obstacle avoidance. But I can say this thing is really good at tracking, knowing where it needs to land. If it doesn't if it doesn't sense a landing zone, it would tell you, be cautious. I don't see a landing zone. Or if you're flying over water, it would say, oh, I'm over water. Be very cautious about that. Or if it would say, oh, I'm over a ledge, be very cautious of that. Overall, I just think that the DJI Neo is a really good device for people who are just trying to get into content creating and want a drone and want something very small. Cause like I said, this thing is beginner friendly, and honestly, I love this purchase. The fact that I can fly this thing around my house too, just naturally too, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll make this purchase again. But for anybody who are just drone fanatics who just would love to be with drones, just love to have drones, I wouldn't get this. This thing is definitely not meant for you guys. This thing is meant for guys like me who is beginners and like to create content, whether it's short or long, or just to have that one cinematic view that I'm just trying to get. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of the day. Right now I'm having a really good day. Right now I'm actually working to kind of work from home, but I'm just taking this time out just to create this video for you guys. And thank you for all the support I've actually been getting. Crazy enough, I did not think I would get support this fast. Even though it's not a lot, but it's you know, it definitely keeps me motivated, and I truly do appreciate it, guys. But other than that, you guys have a really good day. And yeah, see you guys later. Peace.